Good evening, Ethan. Hello, Shannon. I'm Kelly Capwell.
Pleased to meet you.
You know, if anybody had said a few months ago we'd be at a dinner party together, I bet none of us would have believed it.
I still don't. I was convinced you'd be behind bars. How is it you're not?
I guess society figured I wasn't such a menace. DA didn't waste any time, did he?
You know, the two of you may have more in common than you think.
Well, I'm definitely a menace to society.
At least this evening.
So Cece wouldn't let me see the room until tonight. I hadn't seen any of these renovations. You can imagine how surprised I was, Shannon.
I'm sure.
I hope we can make you feel comfortable in our home, Shannon. I know how difficult this must be and how much you've gone through because of your father.
You know, speaking of which, I may like to ask you a few more questions about Shannon's father.
Really, Ethan? In what regard?
Not really sure whether this is the appropriate time.
I really do love everything about the house. It's magnificent.
Thank you very much.
Why don't I give you a tour?
Oh, you don't have to do that.
No, I insist.
And I think I'll make sure there's more champagne. Excuse me.
I didn't know that you were seeing Pressman's daughter, Ethan.
Well, I'm surprised that you recognized her.
Oh, I guess I've seen her around. Matter of fact, I think it's at the hospital. She's a nurse, isn't she?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's how I met her.
Ah, and how you got involved in the case. I wondered how that happened. I do wish you luck.
Really? That's funny. I thought you might have harbored a little resentment towards Pressman.
Oh, I do. The man murdered a very sweet young lady who was very close and precious to our family. The evidence against him was quite extensive. If you think you can prove that the man was not guilty, I'd be the first one to want to set him free.
And bring the real murderer to justice?
Absolutely.
Sorry. Say, Cece, I heard you had your eye on 3 of Ralph's best polo ponies.
Well, Derek, you're way behind. Check's already in Abernathy's account. We'll have the ponies for practice tomorrow.
No, that's good. Do you know, I'm still on the lookout for a new mount or two myself.
Keep that in mind. Excuse me.
Certainly.
What the hell do you think you're doing? We didn't come here to discuss polo ponies.
Well, we're not here to accuse anyone of murder. I mean, it can't be that obvious.
Oh, yes, well, what is obvious is you're starting to think of Cece as some surrogate father that you're willing to do anything to cover for.
I'm covering all right, but for us, not for the Capwells. We have to take this one step at a time. So we can't risk.
Risk? What risk is there? Now, Cece is one step ahead of us. He knew Shannon was coming. And we both know where he got that information. I'm telling you, I'm not going to put up with this cat and mouse game any longer.
There can be no margin for error this time, Ethan. But when we do move, rest assured, that will be it.
Stephen, I'm embarrassed to say I don't even know what your movie is about.
It's about an hour and a half. Or is this one an epic? Only if you're making it.
You'll have to excuse Mason. He rarely sees films.
Oh, I certainly intend to see this one. What is it called again? Voyages? Journeys. Oh, I'm sorry. How could I have forgotten? It's all right. It's just a working title.
It sounds like a psychological character study.
Or a travelogue. Actually, no. It's a murder mystery.
Really? I used to love murder mysteries.
Well, most people still do. And I think that's because at one point everyone's considered murder. Or at least they've thought about a moment when they were capable of it. You seem to hold a very jaded view of your fellow man, Mr. Slade.
Good evening, Mr. Hunt.
What am I supposed to do with this?
I'd like you to put it in there so we know what's going on this evening, especially after we leave.